When it comes to innovation, Mauritius leads on the African continent. And fostering innovation for the Mauritian ecosystem was the theme of a conference where one of the key speakers was Pamela Hinds. She comes from Stanford University, from the Silicon Valley, believed to be the house of innovation. She spoke to students of the MCCI Business School and talked about innovation, the different process of innovation and how it can be applied to Mauritius. We talked to Pamela Hinds to see her point of view of innovation and where it all starts from. So Pamela Hinds, you're talking about fostering innovation for Mauritius. And what is your point of view about innovation?
The key is to really understand the needs that you're designing for, and then to experiment and take risks and try things. And one of the things I think is fascinating right now about innovation is that technology is changing so quickly that there's a lot of opportunity for innovation everywhere. So Mauritius can be at the center of taking advantage of that.
So, Pamela Hinds, you come from the Silicon Valley, which is believed to be their house of innovation, and how Mauritius can learn from that and how you can share your experience about innovation to Mauritius.
Yeah, I would say two things. One is that innovation doesn't happen in a vacuum. It requires an ecosystem, it requires support, it requires academic institutions, funding, venture capital, and so forth, in order to fuel and support the entrepreneurs that are trying to develop new enterprises. So that's part of it, is having a really strong ecosystem. And then the other is having a culture that really fosters thinking about new ideas, thinking about new ways to do things, trying things out and seeing how they work. And again, like I said before, really thinking about, what's the fundamental need out there that we could meet by doing something really different. That's how you get a really huge market, is by tapping into a need that hasn't been met yet.
So when we talk about innovation, we have the perception that it comes from researchers or entrepreneurs. So what's the point, or how does it make sense to talk about innovation to students?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and often it's the young people who become the entrepreneurs. So if I think about how things have worked at Stanford, we have a program, the Stanford Technology Ventures program. We train young people to be more innovative, more entrepreneurial, and they've gone off and started Instagram and Asana and Google. So yeah, no, they were all quite young when they did that.
So we understand that the MCCI Business School runs business courses where innovation is a very important component. And how does this conference of Pamela Hinds help the students?
Well, it's always interesting, to interact with, reputable experts from Stanford and the Silicon Valley. May I remind that this is the first time in Mauritius that we have access to a resource from Stanford University. Well, the MCCI Business School has launched an executive program for 10 weeks on innovation in the Mauritian ecosystem. So the objective is to sensitize the companies in Mauritius, the private sector as well as the public sector, on the importance and the relevance of innovation, but also on the risk, on the questions that we need to answer regarding this issue. We all know that we are in a phase of our development where innovation is something that we talk about a lot. So it's quite interesting to have people who have the relevant expertise to share with us their knowledge about innovation and taking into consideration the level of development of our country.
Now, having someone like Pamela Hinds coming from the Silicon Valley to talk to the students is very useful, of course, but is this a first step or is there more to come?
This is the first step. We didn't imagine that we could, initiate that kind of collaboration, and we are thankful to the US Embassy and also to Stanford for having responded to our request. So we believe this is the first step, and we hope that we will be able to develop further collaboration in the future.